Most Americans think European food culture is simple. You sit down, you order, you eat. It feels familiar, but once Americans actually travel through Europe, many food situations feel confusing, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes even rude, without knowing why. Not because Americans do something wrong on purpose, but because food in Europe follows rules that are rarely explained to visitors. I'm European. I've lived here my entire life, and I've watched Americans struggle with food in Europe not because the food is strange, but because the rules around it are different. These are 7 local food rules Americans don't know in Europe. Not to judge, not to embarrass, but to help you eat better, feel more comfortable, and avoid awkward moments. Before we start, a quick note. This channel is for Americans who want to understand Europe the way locals experience it. Calm, practical, no influencer hype. If that's you, subscribe. I share real European travel insights every week. Rule 1, food is slow by design. In Europe, meals are slow by design. This is one of the first shocks for Americans. You sit down, the menu arrives, and then nothing happens. No one rushes over, no constant check-ins, no automatic bill. Many Americans think the service is bad. It isn't. In Europe, once you sit down, that table is yours. Servers are trained not to interrupt. They don't hurry you, and they won't bring the check unless you ask, because bringing the bill too early signals that you should leave. Locals know this. That's why Americans often sit there, finished with their meal, waiting awkwardly. Local tip: when you're ready to go, make eye contact and ask for the check. Until then, the meal isn't over. Time at the table is part of the experience. Rule 2, menus don't work like American. American menus are flexible. You mix and match, you swap sides, you change ingredients. In Europe, menus work differently. Dishes are designed to be eaten exactly as listed. When Americans ask to remove ingredients or change the dish, it often creates confusion. Not because staff is unhelpful, but because the recipe is intentional. To locals, changing it can feel unnecessary or even disrespectful to the kitchen. Local tip: order dishes as they are written. If you have allergies, say so clearly, but avoid casual modifications. You'll get better food and the experience will feel smoother. Rule 3, drinks follow different logic. Water and drinks work very differently in Europe. Free refills are rare, ice is minimal, and water is often bottled. This surprises many Americans. They're used to large glasses, endless refills, and water appearing automatically. In Europe, drinks are ordered intentionally. Water is treated like any other product, still or sparkling, small bottle or large bottle. Nothing is assumed. Americans sometimes feel they're being overcharged for basics. They aren't. This isn't about money, it's about culture. Drinks are part of the meal, not background service. Sparkling water is often the default, especially in restaurants. Locals genuinely prefer it. Local tip: if you want still water, ask for it clearly. Order what you want without hesitation, and don't wait for refills. They're simply not part of European dining logic. Rule 4, meals have a clear structure. European meals follow a sequence: starter, main course, sometimes dessert. Everything arrives separately. Americans often expect the full meal at once. Main dish, sides included, plates filling the table. In Europe, that feels chaotic. Each course is meant to stand on its own. You finish one, then the next begins. The pacing matters. Asking for everything together or rushing the next course breaks that rhythm. To locals, a meal is a progression, not a delivery. Local tip: order in courses, take a pause between them. That structure isn't slow service. It's a deliberate way of eating that encourages conversation and presence. Rule 5, food hours are strict. Food in Europe follows the clock, not loosely, very precisely. Lunch happens at lunchtime. Dinner happens later than most Americans expect. Between meals, many kitchens close completely. This is one of the most frustrating surprises for American travelers. You walk into a restaurant at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, the place is open, tables are set, lights are on, but the kitchen is closed. No menu, no food, sometimes not even an explanation. To Americans, this feels illogical, but to locals, it makes perfect sense. Meals are planned around specific hours. Cooks take breaks, staff resets the kitchen, food preparation starts again later. Restaurants are not designed to serve all day. Locals know this instinctively. They eat lunch earlier, they plan dinner later, and they don't expect full meals in between. Local tip: always check kitchen hours before you go. Plan lunch when locals eat lunch. Plan dinner later than you normally would at home. Once you align with local meal times, restaurants suddenly feel predictable, and the frustration disappears. Rule 6. Where you sit affects the price. In many European cafes, prices depend on where you sit. Standing at the bar is cheaper, sitting at a table costs more. The same coffee, 2 different prices. This is legal, normal, and widely understood by locals. Americans usually sit automatically. They don't realize they're choosing the slower, more expensive option. Locals stand for quick coffee. Tables are reserved for lingering. Local tip: if you just want a quick drink, stand at the bar. If you want to relax, sit down and enjoy the time. You're not being charged for coffee, you're paying for space and time. Rule 7. Food is social, not transactional. In Europe, food is social. It's not optimized, it's not rushed, and it's not transactional. Meals are not something you complete and move on from. They are something you stay with. Servers don't hover, they don't interrupt, they don't ask every few minutes if everything is okay. Americans sometimes feel ignored. They aren't. They're being given space. In many European cultures, good service means allowing conversation to flow without constant interruption. The meal isn't about efficiency, it's about presence. People sit, they talk, they stay longer than planned. Local tip: slow down intentionally. Put the phone away. Stay at the table after the plates are cleared. Don't rush the end of the meal. Once you understand this, European restaurants feel warmer, calmer, and far more human. Food in Europe isn't about speed, it's about time spent together. Once you understand these food rules, something shifts. Restaurants feel calmer. Meals feel intentional. Awkward moments disappear, not because you changed who you are, but because you understood how things work here. That's the difference between eating like a tourist and eating like a local. In the next videos, I'll explain driving rules, public transportation, and daily habits Americans don't expect in Europe. Subscribe if you want to experience Europe the way locals do. I'll see you in the next one.